Hello friends, happy whatever day it is that you are watching this. Today we're going to talk about being happier, not happy. Very important distinction that I want to share in this video with you. You know, for many years in my life, I sought out this sort of mythical state of being happy. And maybe you have in your life as well. Maybe you've got stuck in the kind of illusion or chasing the horizon of happiness, trying to find your way to a state or a place where you feel like you're content and happy and fulfilled. Well, I'm here to tell you that that state is never going to be permanent. You will have glimpses of happiness in your life, but very often you will have a sense of challenge or contentment or fulfillment or maybe even discontent or frustration that will start to seep into your happiness and start to erode it in some way. And that's just the reality of life. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm a generally happy, positive, upbeat kind of guy. But in this video, I want to get real about the concept of happiness, why we seek it, what it is, and how I have learned to be happier in my life rather than just trying to seek the permanent state of being happy. So the very first thing that I've learned is that seeking to be happy is a trap. And that's because you're in a constant state of flux. You're not really one person. It's almost like you're a million people inside your head. Sometimes a very happy, excited person, sometimes a sad, depressed person. Sometimes you're in the middle somewhere. You know, it just depends on your mood, who you're around, what you're doing at the time, how much sleep you got, what you've eaten, all those kind of things. So you are in a constant state of flux, and trying to seek out that idea of being happy really is a trap because no one is happy all the time. If someone tells you they're happy all the time, then they're basically lying to themselves and to you, because all of us go through the different range of emotions every single day, all of our lives, and we have to accept that as part of the condition of being human. I think if you were just constantly happy all the time, then you wouldn't really enjoy life. A good example of this would be something like The Truman Show, where everything around him is set up so that he's happy and content, but underneath he kind of knows something's wrong, and that's because you can't constantly be happy. And so it's the same in our lives. You have to find ways to accept that you're not going to constantly be happy, and that just seeking happiness on its own is a bit of a trap. Now, having said that, I believe there are ways in our lives that we can be happier, that you can experience more happiness in your life if you reach out and you push yourself in certain ways to do certain things. And so I want to share some of those with you today that I have learned, that people have taught me, and I've also learned through my own experiences that will hopefully help you to become a happier type person. Number one is pretty simple. It's seeking sensory experiences. Now, what I mean by this is really going back to the basics in your life and experiencing the senses around you, whether it is breathing in fresh air or experiencing some sunlight or some pleasant sounds of birds chirping or your favorite music. Maybe it's eating something and really enjoying the taste of it, or the feeling of something like the touch, maybe patting a cat or something like that. Bad example, but you know what I mean? Something where you have that sensory experience that's very simple. What I think that does for you is it brings you back to the real world around you, and it puts you back in touch with the base level of enjoyment and experience. And that's important because very often, especially people who want to improve themselves like we do, we tend to get stuck in our heads in conceptual things. We're trying to become something, or we've got some sort of, philosophical dilemma that we're dealing with. But going back to simple sensory experiences such as having a delicious cup of coffee, something like that, you will find that that will help you to actually start to be more happy just at the base level. I've found every morning if I just make myself a nice coffee, I go outside, I breathe in some fresh air, I sit in the sunlight for 5 to 10 minutes, that sensory experience just gives me this kind of sense of happiness and fulfillment, even for that little bit of time, but it lifts up my mental state. So what I would say to you is, if you're feeling that you're not very happy, go back to those simple sensory experiences. Find ways to just experience the moment and to be more present and to go back into your senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing, whatever it is, and start to tune into those, and they will give you a sense of fulfillment if you're present with them. Number two is to make plans in your life. You know, there's a funny thing that happens when we're planning something in our life that we get very excited about it. It's the looking forward to that is actually more exciting than the event. Say you're planning a holiday in a couple of months and you're looking at all the places you're going to travel or where you're going to stay, or you're booking flights or whatever it is. The mental preparation and anticipation is much more exciting than when when you actually get there. Of course, you have a great time when you're on the trip and it's a wonderful experience, and hopefully, you're tuning into all the moments and being very present when you're there. But if you think about it, a lot of the happiness comes because you spent the time anticipating, and it's in the making plans that you find that you are happier. I found this in my life in many different ways, whether it's in my health, in my relationships, in things I want to experience, whether it's traveling to new places or trying new things in my life. The anticipation of getting better at it, of learning it, of growing, or looking forward to something actually makes it better. So one thing I do in my life very often is I plan out my month ahead and I look at different events that I'm going to have, whether it's hanging out with friends or it's going to be speaking at a certain event or it's traveling somewhere, even something small. But when I'm looking forward to things, I find that I'm just generally happier in my life. Making plans makes you happier. That's a little trick that I've learned a long time ago, and I would suggest to you, if you're feeling like you're not very happy in your life at the moment, try making some new plans, even small plans, and realize that the looking forward to is very fulfilling. The third idea I have for you, which is kind of a little bit counterintuitive, is to contribute to other people. Now, the reason I say this is because very often I think if we get too caught up in our own happiness, trying to be happy for ourselves, what happens is that we kind of feel empty, because if we're only out for ourselves in our lives, we find that it's not very fulfilling. However, when you give to other people, when you try to contribute and help other people, even the world in a larger way, you will find that you're much more fulfilled and happy just as a result. And so what I would suggest to you is, if you're feeling quite satisfied with all your needs in your life and you've got all the things that you want, or you're working towards them, is to look for ways that you could potentially start to contribute to other people. It may be as simple as helping someone in your family with some chores, or teaching someone a new skill, or maybe it's becoming involved in some sort of community activity or a charity or something like that. Finding ways to contribute to other people will make you happier almost instantaneously. I've found this for myself. Whenever I get together with people and I try to help and contribute, I find that my sense of fulfillment and enjoyment in life goes up immeasurably, more so than if I was just trying to do something for myself. So that idea, not only does it help you, but it helps the world at large, and as a result, you get this feeling of being happier in your life, and it's a bonus because it helps everyone else to feel happier as well. In closing, I want to share one final thought, and that is that being happier is a byproduct of other things. You can't just have a natural state of being happy. Sure, you can force a fake smile and pretend that everything's great in your life, but being happier is a byproduct of you taking actions, of you making plans, of you contributing to other people, and you finding ways to do things with your life that are constructive, that are fulfilling, that are challenging. In those activities and those kind of transformational things, you will find the happiness that you're seeking for. And I just want to finish by saying, I don't think it's wrong to want to be happy in yourself in life. It's a natural state of being. It's not something that happens constantly. As I said, we're in a constant state of flux and different range of emotions, but seeking to be happier and more fulfilled in our lives is a healthy activity. And I think if you follow these different ideas that I've shared, as well as your own, you'll probably find that you do become happier. So my friend, I hope that this video was useful for you. If it was, please leave a like and also leave some comments below, sharing different things that have helped you to become happier in your life, what you've learned about the state of happiness and how you've become more fulfilled. I'd love to hear them. Thanks as always for watching, and as I always say, thank you for improving yourself. Yeah, not bad. Happy with that.